Good morning. My name is Sharon Alexander, and I am the president of the Eastern Pennsylvania chapter of the Association of Fundraising Professionals. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning for our virtual National Philanthropy Day Awards program. To say that this has been a strange year is an understatement. The coronavirus pandemic has changed the way we all work, play, and interact with one another. Our chapter, which is made up of professional fundraisers, people who love to network and be around other people, has had to switch to an entirely virtual platform. I know I speak for all of us when I say we miss getting together in person, shaking hands with our colleagues, and hugging those who've become our friends. And to be honest, we had no idea what to expect with this event this year. Philanthropy is literally defined as the love of humankind. Across the world, National Philanthropy Day is the day that thousands of people come together to recognize the transformative power that love brings to our communities. Locally, we've been celebrating National Philanthropy Day since 1986, honoring those in the Lehigh Valley who embody that spirit of giving and generosity. For those who have attended in the past, we usually host a breakfast at DeSales University, and it's a morning filled with celebration, generosity, and camaraderie. Even though we're celebrating virtually this year and we aren't able to get together and hug our friends, you all still came through with your award nominations, your sponsorship, and your participation. This year, we are thrilled to honor a slate of individuals and groups who do so much for the Lehigh Valley during normal times and who stepped up and went above and beyond this year during COVID. Before turning things over to our Master of Ceremonies, I want to acknowledge and thank this year's National Philanthropy Day sponsors. Our lead sponsors, North Star Construction Management and PPL, and our supporting sponsors, AmericaVen, Da Vinci Science Center, Good Shepherd Rehabilitation Network, Lehigh Valley Community Foundation, Norris McLaughlin, and St. Luke's University Health Network. Thank you. The complete list of sponsors is included in the virtual program book, which was emailed out to attendees prior to this morning's event and is available to download from our chapter's website. On behalf of the Planning Committee and the AFP Eastern PA Chapter Board of Directors, thank you so much for your support as we celebrate the Lehigh Valley's incredible spirit of philanthropy. Our MC this morning is Kurt Landis, President and General Manager of the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. I want to send a special thank you to Kurt and his team for being so welcoming and for opening up Coca-Cola Park to us in order to have a safe, socially distanced place to film our award videos. And now it's my pleasure to turn things over to Kurt Landis, our MC.
Good morning and thank you, Sharon. I'm delighted to be your Master of Ceremonies this morning as we recognize and honor so many incredible businesses and individuals who have stepped up during a time of COVID. It's such an honor to be able to present to you today because these individuals have just gone above and beyond, and who'd have thought we'd be here, really, right? 8 months into COVID, and these individuals have just done amazing things, pivoting and turning their lives around to support others. I know a big part of this event is the ability for us to celebrate together in the same room and embody the spirit, the communal effort together. Unfortunately, today we're not able to do that, but I still encourage you to reach out to the individual award winners as well as our sponsors to say a word of thanks. Throughout today, I'll be recognizing and announcing our award winners through a series of video vignettes. Our first two awards this morning are to outstanding businesses, both small and large. These awards recognize a corporation or business that demonstrates outstanding commitment to philanthropy through charitable support and leadership in our community. This year's outstanding small business is 8 Oaks Farm Distillery in New Tripoli. In March, the team at 8 Oaks stopped producing their signature spirits and instead produced hand sanitizer. To date, 8 Oaks has now created over 800,000 ounces of hand sanitizer to support our Lehigh Valley community.
If you can put yourself back around March timeframe of this year, hand sanitizer was going for about $300 an ounce. People were kind of stocking up and hoarding it and then selling it on, online stores. We knew that there would just be a greater need as the pandemic continued to unfold, and we knew that we could produce the active ingredient of ethanol. We were able to quickly retool everything and come up with a formula that was approved by the World Health Organization and get that out right away to people that were in need of it. We produced hand sanitizer from about March 17th until the middle of June. We continued to ramp up and scale up production volumes to the point that we ended up doing over 30,000 gallons of hand sanitizer. At the heart of everything we do, our purpose of our company is to make our community a better place. Working through those challenges and those uncertain times, I think, for everyone on our team was something that they can look back on and remember for the rest of their professional life. Not only did our team come together at 8 Hopes with our employees, our board members, our investors, but we also had the great opportunity to work with other businesses in the area, local businesses and national businesses. And then not to mention all the individuals from around the world that donated money to help keep this project going. This was an example of everybody. There was no one that said, hey, is this for a Democrat or a Republican? Is this for a black person or a white person? This was the community coming together to do good stuff.
For more than 50 years, the Lehigh Valley Community Foundation has been connecting people who care to the causes they care about most. It's a philanthropic hub made up of charitable funds where many different donors share a common goal: to improve the quality of life in our region. The Community Foundation provides donors with a simple, powerful, and highly personalized approach to philanthropy, so donors have greater impact with their giving, fulfill their charitable vision, and grow a charitable legacy. Connect, grow, and fund your charitable legacy with the Lehigh Valley Community Foundation.
This year's outstanding large business is North Star Construction Management. Much like 8 Oaks, the North Star team is dedicated to improving our community. When the pandemic hit, North Star also pivoted and changed their course of action by creating over 18,000 cloth masks, which were then donated to Lehigh Valley Health Network to support Lehigh Valley communities.
During the initial months of the pandemic, leading up to March 20th, we recognized that there was an issue that was brewing in our country.
We had to change our focus from being extremely busy with producing construction projects to now having a stoppage of work, which really started on March 20th.
Craig Johnson came up with the idea of how can we do something, and that idea was create PPE that was a challenge to receive for all people on the front line.
We have a lot of talented, hardworking employees, and this is our chance to do something for the community. We said to ourselves, we can make masks, we can figure that out. Our initial goal was 5,000 masks. In typical North Star fashion, our employees were not happy with that goal and they wanted to beat it. We ended up making 18,000 masks.
To be philanthropic is not just a financial donation. Time is a valuable commodity. Effort, caring for others is the most important thing.
Philanthropy not just helps those that are the intended target, but in the end, it helps everybody. It helps the entire community.
We at North Star are very thankful to even be considered for this.
I'd like to thank Lehigh Valley Hospital for the nomination. It means a lot to us and we're very proud of it.
This triumph of personal independence is made possible by the Center for Vision Loss and supporters like you.
The Outstanding Youth in Philanthropy Award is honoring a next generation individual or group who has initiated or been involved with a philanthropic activity. Project Quarantine was organized by students at Stroudsburg Junior High School last year. These students organized a GoFundMe page to raise money. Those funds were then used to purchase items, products, meals, supplies to support their local community. Those were donated to local organizations serving those in need to show appreciation for essential employees working on the front lines. This started an absolutely incredible chain of philanthropy, all thanks to these incredible youth in East Stroudsburg. Congratulations to students at Project Quarantine.
My name is Jasmine El-Jamri.
And I'm Chris Sue.
And we are here on behalf of Project Quarantine to accept the National Philanthropy Day Award for Youth. 6 months ago, I was on the phone with my older sister, and I was telling her about how useless I was feeling during the pandemic, watching everybody struggle, and not feeling like I can contribute much. So she actually informed me about a project that she was organizing down in her community. I wanted to do the same thing for Monroe County. I reached out to Chris because we've coordinated events in the past. Step one was to start our GoFundMe page.
Our first thought was, let's help feed health workers who were working on crunch time to help solve this pandemic. We decided to reach out to small family-owned businesses in our area, and we bought food from them and donated it to health workers in the LVHN network. We would like to thank everybody that has helped us along the way: Sophia Forgione, Nalani Valdez, Ethan Flanagan, and Pruthi Patel. We'd also like to thank the Stroudsburg staff, the Stroudsburg National Honor Society, the East Stroudsburg National Honor Society, and the executive team for Stroudsburg Minithon. We'd also like to thank all of our drivers.
I would like to give a special shout out to my older sister, Sukaina El-Jamri. She's been a role model to me since before I can remember. I'd also like to give a special big shout out to Miss Mary Nell Strunk for nominating us for this amazing award without telling us. It's been amazing working with you.
Hi, I'm Genesis Ortega from Lehigh Valley Public Media, home of PBS 39 and WLVR News Radio. Congratulations to all of the 2020 honorees on National Philanthropy Day. Lehigh Valley Public Media is proud to be a part of this event.
The next award goes to Kathy Coyne, this year's Outstanding Community Volunteer. Kathy, an advocate for ending food insecurity and housing instability, currently serves on the board for New Bethany Ministries. Since March, she's been volunteering every Thursday at New Bethany, preparing and assembling meals for curbside pickup. She's been a steady and reliable force at the organization during a time of uncertainty, and the team at New Bethany strongly appreciates everything she does for the organization, and they know they wouldn't be able to do it without her. Kathy, congratulations on this award.
During the initial months of the pandemic, we realized at New Bethany Ministries that a number of our volunteers weren't coming in. Most of them are over the age of 65, so they were concerned about their health. I was able to come in and help out in the kitchen where we prepare hot meals for people who are food insecure that come in. I teach at a local college, so I encourage some of my students who are less of a risk for the virus to come in to volunteer as well. And I initially saying you'll get extra credit if you come in and volunteer. They're no longer getting extra credit, but they're continuing to volunteer, and that's really what I like to see. I think it's really important that people reach in themselves to become even more philanthropic during times of need like we had. The lessons learned through the pandemic have really helped us to face that there are those in need, and one of the things that I think we've realized is that we're all at risk. Thank the organization, the Association of Fundraising Professionals, for the job that they do in recognizing philanthropy.
The doctor came over to us and said, "Logan is here and he is breathing." It was high risk from the start. Our concern for our baby grew. The scariest moment happened that day we were returning to the NICU after taking a break. We heard code blue over the intercom. and it was Logan's room.
Now more than ever, the success of your business depends on the technology that runs it. Information technology is the engine that drives operations, productivity, and communications. Perhaps more importantly, it can also provide the security that every business needs. At AmericaVen, we believe that our success is linked to our clients' success. This means equipping clients with leading-edge technology to help them achieve their vision. With AmericaVen as your trusted technology partner, we offer solutions to help you reach your goals on time and within budget. Since 2004, AmericaVen has grown on a foundation of expertise and trust. We understand the technology challenges of small and mid-sized businesses. Our vast portfolio of clients can attest to this. So what is the vision for your business? Call us to learn how to really put technology to work for you.
The Outstanding Collaborative Project Award is being presented to the Lehigh Valley Regional Homeless Advisory Board, a group comprised of representatives from various agencies, all committed to ending homelessness in the Lehigh Valley. With state-mandated shutdowns, many in our community were facing loss of income and worried about even possible eviction. Members of the Regional Homeless Advisory Board worked together on landlord conciliation in order to avoid these many cases of eviction that might possibly lead to homelessness for many within the Lehigh Valley. Congratulations to the Lehigh Valley Regional Homeless Advisory Board.
During the initial months of COVID, Third Street Alliance, along with 3 other partnering agencies, have forged a collective impact in order to provide rental assistance to landlords and tenants within the Northampton County area. COVID is taking the lives of individuals, it's taking their jobs, and it's now creeping into the housing sector to take people's homes. We went above and beyond because we know there is a flood of evictions likely to happen where it's going to uproot families from their homes, and it's also going to leave landlords financially empty.
We plan to continue to support our community by providing resources, housing resources, any financial resources that the tenants or the landlords may need to help them during this challenging time.
Normally, philanthropy is always associated with charitable act or monetary value, but for me, philanthropy means donating one's time and effort to further the greater good. We would like to thank Mark Riddle, who had nominated us. He's the executive director from New Bethany Ministries, so we wanted to say thank you, Project of Easton, as well as the Easton Neighborhood Center. We also would like to thank the landlords during this process, as well as the tenants, for being patient.
Just a message to the families that are struggling. I wish you peace and understanding and patience. And we realize that this is a challenging time, and you have organizations behind you that are not only hear you, but we're ready for action. And we're prepared to do whatever we can for you and your family.
On behalf of DICON, we congratulate and applaud our 2020 AFP honorees. Without these honored champions, our Lehigh Valley nonprofit landscape would not be as successful as it is today. We thank you for your steadfast and unconditional support.
Our next award honors an outstanding nonprofit in the community. The mission of Meals on Wheels of the Greater Lehigh Valley is to provide nutritious, medically balanced, home-delivered meals to seniors and adults with disabilities. During the pandemic, it was important to the team at Meals on Wheels that they continue the service, especially since COVID really hits their population more than others. They immediately put safety measures in place, such as masks, social distancing, gloves, extra hand sanitizer. We all know them by now. And proudly they did not miss one day of service since the pandemic. Congratulations again to the Meals on Wheels of the Greater Lehigh Valley.
Meals on Wheels is about caring for vulnerable people in the community. That's our mission. During the pandemic, our folks were even more vulnerable than other people who could get out to the store and prepare their own food. So without Meals on Wheels, our folks weren't going to eat. I sat down with my kitchen staff and said, okay, what do we need to do to keep meal production going at 100%? We did not miss a day of delivering hot, daily, medically tailored meals to our clients and to additional folks in the community. Our volunteers believe they're as strongly invested in the mission as the staff. Volunteers are taking meals out to people to feed them nutritionally, but they're also feeding their spirit. We value our seniors. They're the teachers who taught you when you were little. They're the police officers. They're other folks in the community who made this community what it is today. To leave them isolated and not taken care of is something that Meals on Wheels isn't going to let happen. Thank you very much to Moravian College, who nominated us for the Nonprofit of the Year Award. My board of directors, on behalf of the agency, really expresses their appreciation to all to the philanthropic community and to our volunteers especially, and to our staff for all coming together and helping us move forward during this time.
Medical emergencies can and do happen during COVID-19.
One American has a heart attack or stroke every 40 seconds.
And one American dies from stroke every 4 minutes.
Heart attacks and strokes will not wait until a pandemic runs its course.
It is not safe to sit home and hope the symptoms pass. It is safe to come to St. Luke's.
Our EMS crews and ambulances
are ready for you, taking every measure to keep you safe.
This year, we've seen our community come together in inspiring ways to collaborate, to innovate, to help people who need it most. On behalf of United Way, I'd like to congratulate and thank all of this year's National Philanthropy Day honorees for your commitment to our Greater Lehigh Valley.
The Outstanding Foundation Award is being presented to Andy Durer Foundation for Kidney Cancer Research. Founded in 2016, the mission of the foundation is to raise money to fund kidney cancer research and support initiatives for patient advocacy, education, and engagement. Congratulations to the Andy Durer Foundation for Kidney Cancer Research.
When my father was undergoing kidney cancer treatment, we realized that there were opportunities to help support these patients more through research, education, advocacy, and awareness. And so that's what we chose to set our foundation up for and continue to support. I personally choose to give back in honor of my dad and in others that are dealing with kidney cancer, currently living with it, survivors, and unfortunately those that will be diagnosed in the future. I'm an oncology nurse by background, so I've always had a strong passion for helping patients deal with their journey through cancer. And although we've made great advancements in science and in awareness, there's still so much more that we can and really need to do to help support these patients. Being philanthropic does what I call fills your cup. So it fosters fulfillment, it brings you value and worth to your life. For me, it's important that kidney cancer patients have access to groundbreaking clinical trials, educational opportunities, and increased awareness. We want to thank Lehigh Valley Health Network for their nomination and the Eastern PA Chapter of Association of Fundraising Professionals for choosing us for this award. Receiving this honor reminds us of the positive impact that every dollar, every hour, and every person can really make.
This is a marathon, not a sprint. The pandemic isn't over, and we need to be smart. People without symptoms can spread the virus, so wear a mask when you are around others. Our community's health depends on it. At Lehigh Valley Health Network, we're ready to work together to reach the finish line safely.
This year's outstanding philanthropists are Vince and Michelle Sorgi. In the wake of the pandemic, they helped to fund the Greater Lehigh Valley Community Response Fund and the Fund for Racial Justice and Equity. Vince and Michelle are outstanding leaders, and they led by example during this time by increasing their support for these great organizations, encouraging others to do the same, and truly being leaders in a time where galas are being canceled or everything is moving online. They stepped up and wanted to make sure that these organizations still have the funds needed to do their critical missions. Vince and Michelle, thank you so much and congratulations.
One of the things I love about working for PPL is that our corporate values match very nicely to our personal values as a family. At PPL, we're committed to investing in our communities where we live and where we work. And that's because we know that all of our success depends on the strength of our communities. We also support strong communities, and so we try to give back whenever we can. It's important to be philanthropic because the need is great. Even before COVID, the community need far exceeded the amount of available resources, and with COVID, that gap's just gotten bigger. And so it's critical for those that can support to do so. And we're living in extraordinary times right now, and so that requires extraordinary measures.
We'd like to thank the Girl Scouts of Eastern Pennsylvania for nominating us for this award, and we were really surprised and grateful.
And I'd really like to thank the Da Vinci Science Center for also supporting our nomination, and of course we'd like to thank the selection committee. It truly is an honor for us to accept this award today, so thank you.
Thank you so much.
Vince and Michelle, on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Da Vinci Science Center, thank you for your leadership and support. With your belief in thinking boldly and giving generously, we are building a new world-class science center in downtown Allentown. A science center that will educate and inspire youth and families across the region for decades to come. Congratulations on receiving the AFP Outstanding Philanthropist Award.
Our last honoree this morning is a perfect example of the generosity, collaboration, and community spirit that the Lehigh Valley is simply known for. This honoree received multiple nominations from so many people across the entire community. In March, we knew things were going to be tough, really tough. Resources for nonprofits were limited, and yet the needs for the community continue to grow and increase. The United Way of the Greater Lehigh Valley and the Lehigh Valley Community Foundation quickly mobilized their teams and their peers to create the Greater Lehigh Valley COVID-19 Community Response Fund. They engaged more than 20 funder partner organizations and quickly raised, listen to this, $675,000. This money was distributed in the form of one-time operating grants to more than 60 agencies to provide food, housing, and income support to individuals and families in crisis during COVID. Out of this effort, a strategic response team was formed, as well as a technical assist team for nonprofit organizations. This collaborative approach to the fund has led to continued efforts to build a more equitable and sustainable nonprofit sector in the Greater Lehigh Valley. We're thrilled to honor the United Way, the Community Foundation of Lehigh Valley, and the 23 funder partners with the Outstanding Community Champion Award. Thank you to everybody.
We're receiving the Outstanding Community Champion Award.
When COVID-19 first started impacting the Lehigh Valley, nonprofits in our region, which are at the front line, were going to be working tirelessly in order to respond to the critical needs of community.
Almost immediately, our United Way team pivoted to start sharing additional information, mobilizing community, and then generating new resources. And we did that in conjunction with a number of partners, most notably the Lehigh Valley Community Foundation.
The Community Response Fund was really set up to do just that, to really respond to the emergency services that people needed. Oh, hi.
Cut, cut, cut.
The Community Response Fund really was so critical to responding, to having a rapid response to the immediate needs of the community.
We partnered with the United Way of the Greater Lehigh Valley and other funding partners to build a coalition to support nonprofits in a coordinated and informed way.
We were raising money from the philanthropic sector, and then we were building a team of leaders to make some decisions about the needs that were arising in our Lehigh Valley community for how to best distribute those funds to meet those needs.
The money came into the fund and immediately went back out into the community to serve more than 60 nonprofit organizations for emergency services.
We are able to fill in the gaps where perhaps other funders like the government may not be.
The power of collaboration became front and center as a driving force. The mechanisms that we've been building to align resources have launched a number of new projects.
Philanthropy is really about leveraging our collective resources in order to harness the power of community.
It's just the way that we're able to express our love, our concern for others.
First day at the Community Foundation, Bernie Story, the CEO, he told me that philanthropy is defined as the love of humanity. And I remember that conversation so well, and I truly see it in this pandemic response. You know, I feel the love, you know, of people really helping their neighbors.
One of the biggest things we learned is how when we all come together with a common goal, how much we can actually impact nonprofit organizations.
I want to thank really the people of the Lehigh Valley. And I say that because there are so many ways that people could have turned inward with the COVID crisis. Every person that has found a silver lining to COVID or has reached out to offer a new kind of help or support has allowed our community to continue moving forward.
We are really excited to accept this award. We also accept this award with immense amount of humility, because while we are receiving this award, we know that the real community champions are those nonprofit organizations who continue to work tirelessly to address the needs of our community day after day after day.
Thank you to the community for this honor. We're humbled to be accepting this award on behalf of all of the funding partners in the Community Response Fund, and thanks to everyone who contributed to it.
I would love to give a shout out not only to the donors, the 23 partners that contributed to the fund, but also to the staff who really worked behind the scenes to make it happen.
Thanks again for tuning in to today's program. On behalf of the AFP PA Eastern Chapter, we wish we could have gathered in person. However, we appreciate the opportunity to still gather virtually and come together to support and recognize these award winners. I want to thank you on behalf of all the honorees, participants, nominations for coming together today for this virtual program. The work that these nonprofits do, these leaders, these community citizens, is absolutely incredible in a time of great need. Myself, Kurt Landis, on behalf of the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, thank you for being a part of it and allowing me to be today's MC and your Master of Ceremonies. Have a great day.
Thank you, Kurt. On behalf of the chapter, thank you for serving as our Master of Ceremonies this morning. Thank you to our sponsors and supporters who make possible the programs like this and the professional development opportunities we offer throughout the year. Thank you to everyone who submitted an award nomination and to the committee who reviewed them. And thank you to all of you for tuning in this morning. I wish all of you a wonderful rest of the day and week and a safe and healthy rest of 2020. We hope to see you all again in person soon. Thank you.